Now this building that we're looking at, just on the edge of Canal Street, used to be an old mill building, including the one next to it, and they've been here for a couple of hundred years, and needless to say they're now flats. So we're just on the edge here of the village. There's Sackville Park, the lovely canal, and Canal Street. And if I can do, I'll try and take a video of all this lot lit up at night, because it's stunning. So it's down Sackville Street, down the other end of Canal Street, and back we go, and we'll just walk down. Again, lots of old buildings converted into flats. This is Sheena Simon College with the park on the other side. Now Sheena Simon College used to be a warehouse when it was first built, and it was a warehouse to house the first horse-drawn sweeping machine that was invented by Joseph Whitworth, and it was thanks to Joseph Whitworth why we now have cleaning machines, not only here in the city but throughout the whole world, because he was the inventor. And the reason why he had Sackville Park built was to protect this building down at the bottom, which is part of Manchester University. And we're now going just a bit further to the top of Canal Street, and the building that you can see with the dome roof at the end is actually one of the law courts. Again, like so many buildings here in Manchester, been around for hundreds of years, quite often misused, and then of course with all misused buildings, when people want to re-inhabit them, you have to spend thousands, sometimes millions of pounds. Lots of hotels that have come up. So I'll give you another shot of the courts just a little bit further round. And this is heading towards Piccadilly railway station. So, the back edge of the law courts. This is one of the two main law courts in Manchester. And the truck coming to take somebody's illegally parked car away. But heading towards the far end of the road there is Manchester Piccadilly. So here we are just near Piccadilly railway station, and back on the tram line with the tram heading towards us. And for all those of you who are interested in seeing trams, and then just at the back we get another view of the courts again. So this is the Mint Hotel that we're just going past. Very posh, very expensive, and clearly not terribly busy outside, but it's rather nice during the summertime when the weather's considerably better. It's certainly not raining. This place is packed. So just crossing over, and all this development that you see in front of you now, where the Starbucks is, so all these buildings are all brand new, and it just used to be a wasteland. So the station is the building in front of us with the tower and the purple bit. I don't know why I'm out of breath, but this is ridiculous. But I guess now I understand what Karen says, is that she easily gets out of breath, possibly for no reason. But down that way is London Road, and as the name suggests, sorry, that's another tram going, that's the old tram, but this is London Road, and in theory if you were to keep going down that road you'd get to London, which is 250 miles away. And the building at the far corner with the two little turrets is actually an old fire station, again disused at the moment. So this is the main railway station in Manchester, Piccadilly railway station, and of course there are thousands of people wandering around, so I'm trying not to get anybody on video, but just very briefly you can see in the background the name of Manchester Piccadilly with its glass dome and glass roof, and inside we've got, well, usual kind of things that you'd find in a mainline railway station, so I won't film that because it's terribly boring, and catch up with you very soon. Okay, so here I am at Piccadilly railway station, and if you're wondering why my hat's turned round and thinking it might be poor editing, well it probably is poor editing, but poor continuity, is because I've just taken my hood off. I am soaked. So Karen, I hope you realise what I'm having to go through to try and do this video for you and make sure that it goes up. And for Loretta, thank you for this. Anyway, I'm here at the station, and like I said before, that there's lots of stuff going on, and the interesting thing is that why is it that whenever you do these kind of things that you say stupid things that you wouldn't normally say, or you do stupid things, but I'm just wondering, there's nothing really to show you here apart from the fact that, again, another old building that's been done up, that's it's quite modern really, even though it's old, and it was originally done up to look the way it does now for the Commonwealth Games in 2002. So it's a shame that it took something like that, and for the world to be looking at Manchester, for the powers that be to fork some money out and actually upgrade our main station. Well, they did, and I'm very grateful that they did, because at least it's dry, there are no pigeons flying around, and you can sit and wait for your train in comfort. I'll give you another bit very shortly. So I don't know if I'm going to get this all in order, but that's the bridge that we came across, and we're now just walking down from the station past the free bus stop. And yes, I suppose I should really be catching the bus back home, but as I'm doing this vlog for Karen to show what Manchester's like, I'll suffer for my art. This might work out that it's all mixed up with regard to the commentary, but I'm sure that I'll either overdub it or add some music or do something. The brick building just on the bottom of the approach there is an old fabric mill or fabric warehouse called Joshua Hoyle's, and Joshua Hoyle made his business, made his money here in Manchester, as so many people did in the 18s, early 1900s, through clothing, which of course Manchester is quite famous for. But this particular building, Joshua Hoyle's building, is now a 5-star hotel with restaurant, and very posh indeed. So we'll just cross over the road, make sure I don't get run over, and then I'll recommence filming when we get to what some people call the centre of Manchester, which is Piccadilly Gardens. Okay, so here we are, just at the opposite end of London Road, and I'm just crossing over, which is fairly obvious, and you can see that nice lot of trees in Manchester in the centre. And we'll shortly come up to Victoria's Memorial, and I'll get the best way of crossing, but it's going to start getting very busy now, because although it's around about 7:15 in the evening on Wednesday, the 9th of May, there's still tons of traffic which comes at you at all directions, and hopefully we can get across without me having to do too much jumping around. So this is one of the statues on the corner of Piccadilly Gardens, and I'll show you why it's called Piccadilly Gardens shortly. Sadly, they're in the process of returfing this, mainly because of the fact that they put rubbish grass down to start with, and then realised that they needed to put something a little bit more substantial. We'll walk round, I think. So this is, as I said, what some people call the centre of Manchester, Piccadilly Gardens, and this is the site of a hospital. It was here late 1800s, early 1900s, and when the hospital was demolished, they built a garden here in commemoration of the patients and people who had died. And then probably about 5 or 6 years ago, might be longer than that, it was decided that it was far too old looking and shabby, and so they decided to put this modern structure in. The modern structure, of course, being the fountain, and we're having to look at it through the railings at the moment. We might get a better view. And of course, these are dancing fountains, not to music or lights like you'd see in Las Vegas, but that type of thing. And in the background, the building right in the middle is Debenhams, one of the oldest stores in Manchester. And when I said that they decided to do something modern with Piccadilly, just look at this. The building with all the lights on, from the corner of that red building all the way down to the bottom, this is just a chunk of concrete that has no style, that has no kind of design aspect to it, that is very, what's the word I'm looking for, is very functional, but very much no class, boring, and just has a couple of coffee shops in. One of them, Caffè Nero. So we're now going to just walk by the side of these fountains, and I'll see if I can get a better view for you. And as we're going past, as if by magic, all the fountains are starting. There we go. Almost on cue, as if it was meant to happen. Actually, I've never noticed the smell here, but it's very much chlorinated water. Oh, it smells like chlorinated water. And if I can just turn round, So this is in the centre of Manchester, and on a summer's day when the sun's shining and not pouring with rain, this is stunning. So Victoria sat on her throne just in the background there near the red building, and then as we go across we just come to some of the shops. Again, a lot of the shops in the centre of Manchester are being renovated, which is fabulous news. And then we just pan round some of the banks, some of the other smaller shops, and then there we have Debenhams again. So we're going to go down by the side of Debenhams now. Now here's a statue. I don't know if we'll be able to get a decent view, but this is of Sir Robert Peel. Now, Sir Robert Peel was the guy who was responsible for bringing a police force to the UK, and the reason why policemen in the early days were called peelers were named after Sir Robert Peel, and this is his statue in the centre of Manchester. It's not very good because the light's rubbish, but you get the idea.